The information you are about to read is not intended for the general public lacking preliminary education. It contains metaphysical and parapsychological insights designed to help individuals push their limits and discover their potential for existence across different dimensions. This is emphatically not merely philosophical discourse, as I base this on my own private life experiences. Metaphysics involves experiences encountered in daily life. It is not purely abstract. Rather, it is the concretization of abstract realities in everyday life through our senses. The third eye truly exists. Metaphysics is experimental, much like the scientific method. Even scientists acknowledge the principle of falsifiability in science. This esoteric knowledge is not a mental disorder, but wisdom. Carl Gustav Jung, in his Red Book, even placed metaphysics within the domain of rational intelligence. There is a profound difference between being a scholar and possessing wisdom. True intellectuals understand the state of the dervish and the illuminated one. We define space-time as a kind of hypercube multiverse, encompassing multiple dimensions and multiple structures of consciousness. The greatest esoteric secret, the true gnosis, is to discover and experience the consciousness of these other bodies. Please note the specific metaphysical terminology I have used. Metaphysics is not abstract. It is the experiential manifestation of abstract realities in our daily lives. Metaphysical development is not a hobby, but a way of life, a process of spiritual evolution, tekamul. Evolution is both a biological and a spiritual phenomenon. This adheres to the both-and logic of Aristotle and quantum physics. No one should embark on philosophy without first receiving an education in logic. Aristotle remarked that since his master, Plato, focused on metaphysics, it fell to him to derive physics and biology from metaphysical principles. Aristotle has not been fully grasped by academics and scholars. In Turkey, Dukane Çundioğlu is an intellectual I deeply respect. I recommend researching his book, Herzat İnsan, The Lord Human. The most fundamental metaphysical experience shared by everyone is the dream. Even the most elevated and precious metaphysical experience, the initiation, begins with a dream. This is a messenger dream. The initiation that will lead to experience is revealed to us in the dream as a vision in the form of clairvoyance. This means you are undergoing mystical and psychic training in life. The information moves from the subconscious to the level of consciousness, ready for use in the physical world. I agree that with the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence, we must now pay greater attention to metaphysics. Metaphysical initiation differs from physical initiation and, in the modern world, typically spans a 3-year period. Initiations in ancient times often lasted for many years. It is an intense purification and a constant testing of the ego. The lowest layer is our physical body and its worldly state of consciousness. Our second body is the etheric body consciousness. It is fundamentally the same consciousness as the physical body and shares a very high degree of similarity. It is also concrete like the physical body, but possesses a slightly more subtle form. Beyond the etheric body is the astral body consciousness, or the astral dimension. Even quantum physics's string theory supports the existence of these dimensions. Modern science is starting to grasp these realities. It is awakening. The time when parapsychology will become fully scientific is near. We need to look at Göbekli Tepe from a different perspective. The recorded continents of Atlantis and Mu are real. Personally, I can glimpse those times through my psychic abilities in brief moments of clairvoyance. In modern physics, the double-slit experiment and the Copenhagen interpretation are the strongest philosophical underpinnings for these concepts. Our next higher consciousness is the mental body, which is internally divided into a lower and an upper aspect. The astral body is only partially divided into lower and upper aspects. The astral body must be mastered first, as the mental body dimension constitutes a higher structure than the astral dimension. However, the lower and upper mental bodies are distinctly separated, like a sharp blade. Their world is fundamentally different.
Rumi, Mevlana, famously said, "There is an I deeper than my eye." According to Anatolian esotericism, Yunus Emre, Rumi, and Ibn al-Arabi are all sages. We salute people with high intuition.
We cannot comprehend or visualize these states of consciousness, these dimensions, without experiencing them, regardless of how advanced the imagination of our physical consciousness may be. Higher than the mental consciousness, and the highest accessible to us, is the spiritual consciousness structure. We can experience this too with our psychic powers, but we cannot perceive or experience the eternal soul consciousness plan, which lies even beyond that. Kundalini is practiced intensively in Germany. It is a higher occult experience. Individuals in Turkey wishing to pursue this path can directly consult Akif Manaf. The prophets approached the dimension of eternal spiritual consciousness most closely. To provide further detail on the etheric body, it is mortal, like the physical body, and belongs to this physical world. Without such a hierarchical structure of consciousness, our physical life and daily existence would be monotonous and meaningless. The development of these other spiritual bodies directly affects our destiny. There is no absolute destiny. This is the both-and logic. Plato was correct, and his dialogues are themselves somewhat esoteric. The public-facing aspect of religions is called exotericism. There is a hidden aspect. It is cryptic and involves symbols, much like an art film. Even Newton dedicated his life to alchemy and occult sciences. Mental illnesses in psychiatry are linked to the disruption and damage of energy flow in these other bodies. This does not preclude the possibility of a biological mutation. The alteration in the subtle bodies is definitively reflected in our physical body in the physical world. First, the soul, tin, becomes ill, and then the body. Exceptions undoubtedly exist. The teachings of Paracelsus are also critically important. Is it possible to know God without knowing Galen and Paracelsus, without knowing medicine? With the development of artificial intelligence, the modern world must now advance through metaphysics, that is, the education of wisdom. There are significant worldview differences between modern science, ilim, and gnosis, irfan. Ilim, knowledge/science, is the opposite of irfan. Ilim is scholarship. It is not wisdom. The sage experiences metaphysics in their daily life. They are an illuminated one, arif. A sage even incorporates the knowledge of the scholar. When Yunus Emre says, "Knowledge is knowing knowledge is knowing yourself," he is saying, knowledge is knowing the essence of knowledge. Ilim bilmektir. Not merely knowledge is knowing. He points toward gnosis, irfan. Knowing oneself is related to the esoteric aspect of self-knowledge. Otherwise, this intense reading is in vain. The valuable summary of the philosophy of science is gnosis. It is wisdom, not mere scholarship. We can regard our etheric body as the twin of the physical body. This comparison has no relation to biological twins in the physical world. This body, the etheric consciousness and the etheric dimension, is what physicists refer to as etheric substance, or ether, which has been discussed in scientific theses and articles, although they failed to assign a philosophical meaning to it. We primarily utilize this etheric body in healing, diagnostic, and therapeutic work. It is the body in the closest communication proximity to the physical body. This is why the self-hypnosis meditation we practice first reaches the etheric body. Subsequently, our affirmations and suggestions proceed to the other higher bodies. The body closest to our chakras is the etheric body. Turning to the astral dimension and the astral body, this body is composed of astral matter, a substance distinct from the physical matter of the physical body. It is connected to the second chakra, Svadhisthana, representing sexuality and creativity. It is entirely linked to emotions. It is through this body that we genuinely love another person and establish a connection of spiritual intimacy with those we are attracted to. The physical/sexual chemistry and passion between partners is both biological and spiritual. It is not solely a biological phenomenon determined absolutely by the harmony of our gut microbiota. It is both biological and spiritual. The astral body possesses its own distinct consciousness and selfhood. This body represents the fourth dimension, the dimension of time. While living in this physical world, we do not construct an astral body from scratch, but rather we strive to perfect it. We train it, guide it, and develop it. Otherwise, it will follow its own innate tendencies. The subconscious builds our physical consciousness. The subconscious is not purely psychological, but belongs in large part to the metaphysical realm. It also possesses a collective structure. We can only improve our physical world and life through metaphysical intervention. Aristotle stated that since his master Plato and others concentrated on metaphysics, the task of building physics derived from metaphysics fell to him. In essence, he achieved discoveries in physics and biology within this physical world by starting from metaphysics. Otherwise, we would not be discussing him today. The out-of-body experience, OBE, known as astral projection, is experienced through the astral body and astral consciousness. While other types of consciousness experiences exist, mastering the astral realm is fundamental before pursuing others. I must emphasize again that we experience these consciousnesses and dimensions before death through our will and states of meditation. Knowing the astral is fundamental. It is the basis. This means we consciously travel to other universes. The first obstacle is fear. I will address the subject of fear in subsequent lessons. These other universes are not independent of our own. They are intertwined universes. In this physical world, you can travel to and explore the home of someone you have not seen for many years using your other metaphysical consciousnesses. Alternatively, you can transmit sound to them. If that person is not psychically developed in metaphysics, they will not see your image, but they will hear your voice. The level of development and quality of the astral body differs for everyone. Consequently, the opportunities it offers that person in the physical world also differ. While animals learn to use their astral bodies more readily, we humans tend to focus more on our mental bodies. This stage of our evolution is predominantly at the mental level. When a human dies, they first shed the layer of the etheric body and then remain with the astral body. The astral body is also mortal, but its lifespan is longer than the physical and etheric bodies. The mental body is associated with thoughts, ideas, ideals, philosophy, and art. It is of a higher quality and is more developed than the astral body. It possesses its own form and consciousness and is longer lived than even the astral body. However, the mental body is also mortal. It is the body directly related to karma. This mental body also has lower and upper layers of consciousness within the mental world. It is less accurate to refer to the upper mental body as a body, as it is far more abstract. This body is also referred to as the body of cause and effect, or the causal body. Like a seed, this body transfers the experiences gained in one life to the next. If you have undergone physical initiations, self-hypnosis meditation, where affirmations transition the brain from the beta wave state to the alpha wave state, can also reach the upper mental body. This structure is both abstract and concrete. The human being sheds these layered bodies and consciousnesses, much like discarding a series of garments, until the final perception achieves a new body in a different dimension.
Thus, there is no death, but transformation. The final layer is the soul. The soul experiences these hierarchical fields of consciousness and these formed realms, but it can only perceive them through experience. The level of spiritual consciousness is the ability to see everyone as an extension of the self. It represents the highest virtues. Kundalini is a powerful, high-voltage metaphysical experience where the 7 dormant chakras in the body work simultaneously with the spinal column. It belongs to the dimension of spiritual consciousness, and in this metaphysical experience, the individual reaches the angelic planes and the planes of God. That is, during Kundalini, while still in the physical body, one sees and knows the worlds beyond the physical. Faith is therefore a stage to be overcome. The goal is knowing. Without these layered structures of consciousness, none of our body states can find meaning. Each one is meaningless on its own. Life cannot consist of only one of them. The life of the physical body emerges from the synthesis of all these bodies.
The dreams you experience are sometimes psychological, and sometimes they are perceptions through the eyes of your other bodies. As your consciousness develops, you may even perceive social events. Sometimes you may see through the eyes of a plant or even an insect. You cannot make sense of it because it does not belong to you. You have merely experienced its state of consciousness as a dream. We are 7 billion individuals in the physical world, 7 million in the astral world, and we reduce to 7,000 in the mental world. As we ascend, there is only one state of consciousness, which is Wadat al-Wujud, the unity of existence, as taught by Ibn al-Arabi in Sufism. God is both transcendent and immanent. Mental and astral experiences bring a profound state of ecstasy and energy to the individual. Will is the activating force belonging to the formless spiritual realm, superior even to mental experience. Paracelsus stated that the higher mind/master cannot be entered without the will of its owner. Emotional states such as fear, anger, anxiety, hatred, and arrogance are the dangerous factors. The death experience of individuals who commit atrocities and intense evil deeds differs significantly from the death experience of good people who have achieved metaphysical realization. We die as we live. We must not dwell intensely on feelings of deep pain, grief, or sorrow following the passing of loved ones. In such a state, the deceased find it difficult to ascend to the higher planes. They remain stuck and are delayed. If we have received the third eye initiation, we can receive advanced knowledge of some negative events that will happen to ourselves or others in the form of a precognitive dream, either clairvoyantly, clear seeing, or clairaudiently, clear hearing. While in the astral experience, we can even prevent some disasters before they manifest in the physical world. The astral eye is far more capable than physical consciousness and the physical eye. It sees without intermediaries and without being constrained by the dense form of matter. Sometimes, even if we possess every detail of an event that is about to occur, we cannot prevent it from happening. We cannot intervene. The reason for this is the karmic maturation cycle. At this point, fate has woven its web. If we receive psychic foreknowledge and intervention is possible, we must never delay. We must warn those people. In out-of-body astral experiences, specifically in the astral dimension, you can even receive training from a master there. The moment you return to physical consciousness, you remember that training and make it a permanent part of your being. Isn't that magnificent? When the astral consciousness is opened by non-physical or disembodied entities, the individual's training accelerates. The astral field is the 4th dimension, the dimension of time. Since we currently inhabit the 3-dimensional world,
We cannot possibly imagine this reality without experiencing it firsthand. According to quantum mechanics, the fourth dimension is indeed the time-space dimension. During astral vision experiences, we sometimes perceive reality through the perspective of a single cell, or through the eyes of other non-human entities. Not everything we perceive may be directly related to us. We may see through the eyes of an animal, or at times, even through the consciousness of a planet. As you progress in these experiences, you can even access the astral and mental consciousness experiences of other people. Submental experiences closely resemble astral experiences, the only difference being that the astral realm is dominated by the intensity of emotion, feeling, and desire. Mental experiences, conversely, are heavily thought-oriented. However, supermental experiences are extraordinarily different from both submental and astral experiences. Their magnificence is so profound that language and words prove insufficient to describe them. They can only be learned through direct experience. Some of the efforts and energetic investments we make in this world are repaid and experienced in other dimensions. There is even a hierarchy of higher beings who oversee us. There is not only a single spiritual guide. They are responsible for ensuring our spiritual evolution proceeds in a planned manner and with the correct timing. For these beings, the cause is more important than human emotions. They do not possess human sentimentality as we do. They may take the consciousness of individuals who remain extremely materialistic and non-progressive and repurpose it for other ends. Our soul remains immortal, of course, but why should we not aspire to evolve into a more prosperous dimension of consciousness? We were once chimpanzees. Evolution continues. We learn the knowledge belonging to the realm of laws through symbols. Esotericism is of great help in this regard.
The data belonging to the divine plan is highly personal and can be obtained by each individual according to their unique spiritual capacity. These truths are found within the sacred hieroglyphs. It was the initiates who were most capable of deciphering them. In the universe, there exists the duality of chaos and order. Pythagoras defined the cosmos as God, 1, matter, 2, and universe, 3. And based on the combination of 1 and 2, he defined the universe as 12. Psychic powers are not the main goal, but an important byproduct of genuine attainment. Intention and will are sacred. They possess a higher power. We create everything with our consciousness, which means that the energy of external physical objects is comparatively low. This is why much of the work of magic is misunderstood. We can assist in healing other people by accessing their astral and mental consciousnesses to resolve their traumas. Just as we can receive training there, we can also provide it, accelerating the physical world transformation of the recipient. The knowledge is permanently transferred from the subtle realms to the physical consciousness. This includes not only education, but healing work as well. You can become an astral guru or master. In my forthcoming articles, I will share the self-hypnosis initiation and an affirmation prescription. This meditation method is extraordinarily powerful and rapid. It creates quick transformations in the individual. It is hermetic, based on the principles of Hermeticism.
Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new lesson. To help me continue providing these sessions, just 1 month's contribution makes all the difference. The join button is now active on my profile. For those seeking private guidance on the power of the mind, specifically self-suggestion and auto-hypnosis, please feel free to reach out via email. I look forward to seeing you in next week's lesson.